If you are planning a funeral on a budget, this video from funeralcompanion.com will talk you through some key tips for keeping those costs down. Let's get into it. Compare prices of funeral homes in your area. Funeral homes often charge different prices, so it pays to shop around. Funerals are one of the few times when we all need help. Some of us may have no idea how to do this or just not want to be involved in making decisions. One way to get a better price is simply by doing some research and checking out different funeral homes in your area. Most of them have websites with all the information you need. Ask about package deals. Many funeral homes offer package deals that can save you money. For example, they may include the price of the casket, transportation, and the services of the funeral director in one price. This isn't always the case, so always ask to see a full price list before signing any contract. Opt for cremation over a burial. Funeral costs have been increasing exponentially. Funerals in the United States average $6,000 to $10,000, and caskets can be extremely expensive, over $2,500 on average. On top of that, many funeral homes offer so-called packages which can include services like embalming and use of the chapel, pushing the cost even higher. Cremation is a more affordable option. The average cremation costs around $1,500, though it varies depending on your location, and direct cremations can cost a matter of a few $100s. A burial, even the simplest form, involves additional costs in terms of buying and opening a grave plot as well as laying down some sort of grave marker. This is why over 50% of Americans were cremated last year. Choose a less expensive casket or urn. Caskets and urns can be very expensive, and choosing a less expensive option can save you a lot of money. There are many different types of caskets and urns available, so you don't have to choose the most expensive option. For cremations, you can also choose to rent a casket rather than buying something ornate you will then have burned in a crematory. You can also do this for burials, having a fancy rented casket for the visitation and then a simpler one for the actual burial. My best tip is to actually buy the casket you want, even the fancier one, from an online retailer. Funeral homes have to accept this and use it by law, and they can't charge you any fee for doing it. This means you can probably get a lot more for your money. To see my recommended online casket retailers, please click the link below this video. Have the funeral home keep the body for a few days instead of embalming it. There are several reasons why you might want to have the funeral home keep the body for a few days instead of embalming it. For one, embalming is expensive and can add hundreds or even thousands of dollars to your funeral costs. It's also not necessary in most cases. Most funeral homes will agree to keep the body for a few days without embalming it. This will give you time to make arrangements and save money on funeral costs. If you are opting for direct burial or cremation, which are considerably cheaper options, embalming is rarely required by law. Have a graveside service instead of a funeral home service. If the family still wants to have a funeral service, going to the cemetery for a graveside service is a lower cost option. This type of service starts at around $800. You also save a lot of money on renting a space and even having to decorate it with flowers and similar traditional affectations. At the graveside, a simple photograph or less ornate casket spray will suffice. Hold the service at a park, community center, or other public venue. Holding the funeral service anywhere else is almost always cheaper than having it at a funeral home. The cost of using these venues is often minimal or even free, and this can save you a lot of money. Additionally, having the service in a public place allows more people to attend, which can provide comfort to your loved ones. If you choose to have the service at a funeral home, be sure to compare prices between different locations to find the best deal. Consider having a memorial service instead of a funeral. A memorial service is similar to a funeral, but it typically does not include burial or cremation attended by the congregation. This is an ideal accompaniment to a direct burial or cremation. This can be a cheaper option, and it may be more appropriate for someone who did not have a traditional funeral service. A memorial service can also take place at a park, community center, or another public venue. Avoid paying for flowers, programs, and other extras. Bluntly put, flowers are a waste of money, and the flowers will die anyway. Programs are not necessary either, so this is an unnecessary expense. Plus, they get tossed away after the service has finished. If anything needs to be remembered about your loved one's funeral, it should be their life, not what happened at the funeral service. A good alternative to a set of programs is a memorial website, which can be set up for free on several web-based platforms. If you want flowers, then either buy fewer displays from a florist to keep costs down. Alternatively, go directly to a flower wholesale market and get the flowers yourself at cost. Another option is to ask the attending congregation to bring flowers to help decorate the funeral venue. I hope that these tips have helped you see that holding an affordable funeral is possible with a little bit of negotiation and compromise. For more tips, feel free to use the search bar on funeralcompanion.com or go to the homepage to find other useful articles about afterlife care.